Hello, I'm Michael Stangl with Stangl's Enviro Lawn Care, and welcome to my recording for Our Futures 2026. I changed it up in this recording. I went on the road and I went to 4 locations. So I went over to Virgil, Ontario, to Virgil Greenhouse. We chatted with Peter. Then we went out to Taw's Winery, which also owns Redstone Winery, and talked to Augusta, the vineyard manager in Vineland. And then we went up to Branston, Ontario, where we caught up to a couple of dairy guys, Gordon and Doug. They have cash crop, row crops. And then we ended up going to Bayview Greenhouse in Jordan for their anaerobic digestion system. What we'll do is we'll go through the 4 interviews, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what I've been doing. Thank you. Hey, I'm Mike Stangl. We're here in Virgil, Ontario, Canada, at Virgil Greenhouse with Peter. I'm not even sure, Peter, are you the owner?
Yeah, owner with my brother-in-law. My dad's now out of the picture. Still here every day, but yeah.
So last year in April, I got a phone call, communicated with Peter, came out, we're in his greenhouse, and he had a Fusarium problem. Explain why and what we're looking at here inside this greenhouse, because it's on a regenerative movement forward. Sometimes it could be very scary and lacking of information. And I think that's where I'm here to help you bridge, is in that information gap.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can see here we grow cut flowers. Ranunculus is a particular niche flower from Italy, and we grow another flower, Freesia. That's in another range. We're growing kind of monocrop, so we're growing over and over again, maybe 3 rounds in a year. And when the crop's done, we steam the soil. And this is something that's been done conventionally in the greenhouse sector. You just steam it and then plant again. And you kind of kill everything, and it's easy. In the last couple of years, we've been spraying lots. And we spray lots, and I hate spraying. I just hate it. But and then I follow these people online, and for many people that are doing awesome work. And you know there's a way to do it. It's just, how do I apply it to my facility, my application? Because growing outdoors is a lot different, and I don't want to lose my production, or I have a lot invested here, so you don't want to have a whole crop fail on you. So there's ways to monitor it, and then to do it and apply it. So that's kind of why I called you. And how can I get away from steaming and bringing in the biology to not get Fusarium?
And the other is that the Fusarium, as we now know, is an endophyte. Mm-hmm. And because of the way you've steamed on the process between all the crops, is it between the crops you do that?
Yeah, in between crops.
Yeah, and then you also rototill?
Yeah, we'll spade the soil down to 16 inches. We loosen it up, and then we'll steam it at 140 Celsius with big green tarps.
How many days?
We steam from 4 to 6 hours.
Okay. So with respect to when we got the call, we came out, I have no idea what the plants were. Ranunculus, Freesia. So it's as scary shit for me as it is for him to walk into something as such as this, because even when I used to talk with Elaine quite often back in 2015-16, she'd always say, Mike, never hesitate to put a chemical on, because that's a paycheck and you don't want to lose the house.
Yeah.
Okay, so we both understood that, and as we were coming into it, you had a Fusarium issue. I have a Johnson Sioux. We had to DNA test it, and I know that we could actually use the Johnson Sioux to control, and more so not control, but to enhance the diversity within the soil to stop Fusarium from being diseased, but be going back to an endophyte. And that's what you were seeing in the first results. Like, you were seeing the crops not having that impact from the steaming. Like, tell us what the observations visually of what you saw since we started to now.
So we're doing 2 small trials right now. And it's almost, the crop is kind of growing the same it would normally would. And maybe, but I'm not having the weed pressure that I would have in those particular areas. And we're just starting off with a small trial at the moment. I don't know, did you see anything else?
No, but you were talking about the colors. Remember when the plants were coming in relation-wise to the other, there was no yellowing.
No, yeah. In our freezer crop in particular, we'll get fusarium is very bad. We probably replace 25% of the bulbs annually to fusarium, and in those areas, I didn't have any fusarium pressure. So yeah, I hope to expand on that. But the problem is maybe I'm jumping here, but
No.
when we're applying, because we're set up with our fertilizer, we're applying with a AB tank, which is applying based on the EC. So we're applying salts. So my next project is kind of to lower our inputs with salts and grow it just as well, right?
Yeah.
Because the salts are going to kill our biology, right?
Push the biology back.
Yeah.
But what I found within this greenhouse and your ranunculus and with your freesia, you're basically your output doing it this way on trial was equal.
Yes. Yep.
You didn't have a negative impact going back, though there was a front end investment of a little organic matter.
Yep.
And the understanding of how to make his own compost tea.
Yep.
And the one thing is I supported him with the compost from the Johnson Sioux, and he made his own extract. And I shouldn't have said tea, it's an extract. And then we use molasses, and squid juice was in there too. Now the thing is that he's going to make his own Johnson Sioux for 2027. It'll be ready, but in the interim, I will be supporting him throughout that with my Johnson Sioux. We will be getting it DNA tested again in another month or so. And then what we use is AI to validate what we could do with that compost and how much I need per area or per block within the greenhouse. Other than that, he hasn't seen really any impact of fusarium.
Nope.
But have you seen impact anywhere though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've seen it other areas, but not in the trial yet.
Not in the trial yet. Nope.
And we say yet because anything could happen.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we are living a real trial where we just walked into it, we're figuring it out, and then maybe this year you might extend it to another block.
Yep. No, that's the goal.
And then it's almost like the groundworks for over a 5 to 6 year business plan of converting everything over from high inputs to lower inputs, but to more management. And as we mentioned on a conversation the other day, it takes more noodle now.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not as simplistic as just following a calendar and spraying.
Yeah, and typically in the past, I didn't do much of the growing, but I'm more of this crop in particular, the ranunculus, we have over a hectare of it under glass, and 10 years ago we started, and we just started in a small area, but we said it's a spring flower, but we wanted to grow it all year round because this flower is very popular for weddings, and you can get good dollar for it. So we said, let's try to grow it all year round in Canada. When our summers here can be up towards 30 degrees, we keep it actually below 20 degrees in here. And it was just more, let's figure out the crop one thing at a time. What's the climate? How much light do we need? Climate cooling, and then starting the bulb preparation, everything. And then every so many years, we've kind of fine-tuned it. And then the last point is, then we're doing more saps and mineral management. We're getting that fine-tuned. And now it's my next kind of goal is bringing that bricks up. And then now it's bringing the biology in. And I just like to myself, and now I'm getting more involved in the growing. And I love the regenerative movement, and it's our kids' future. And I don't want to be spraying in this greenhouse where my employees are working.
Yeah. And the one thing is, I didn't mention is that we were taking soil samples on a monthly basis, if not bi-monthly.
Yep.
We were looking underneath the microscope, and we were following the biology within the fungus. When we started, it was 0.
Yep.
Now we're at 50%.
Yep.
And we're getting there. And then the thing is, the bonus of building up that diversity as we see is the fusarium's in check. And your production is equal. It's not going to express anymore until we get to a... Yeah.
And I don't necessarily am looking for my production to go up. I would like it to be the same, because at the end of the day, I'm putting a ton of inputs in the ground for the area, but it's a high value crop. So, but my more is I want to have the highest bricks possible.
Yep.
So what's the best way to do that?
And the other, we also take care of his home lawn. And we found that a peach tree did very well, because every time my son showed up, he saw how sickly this little tree was on your front lawn, and he sprayed it. And you didn't realize he was spraying it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you got 5 kids. One on the way.
One more on the way. Yeah.
And then the girls don't want to be, and they found how many worms this year?
Lots of worms. Yeah. More worms.
And so in the real world, outside of this glass house, it's doing value. And at the same time, you're looking at new property, potentially grapes, a block of grapes, and a block of peaches.
We own grapes that we have a partnership with a neighbor.
Yeah.
But the peaches too. I had a peach tree at the beginning of the season when he came in, and it was dead. I thought there's no way. I was going to pull it out, and then I don't know how it came back, but it was both. So I see a lot of potential there, especially in this area. We have a lot of peach orchards
and vineyards, and they spray quite often.
It's bad.
It's deadly in this area.
Yeah.
And on that note, I want to thank you for doing this little interview. I know it's our first time and my first time with doing it this way. And I really appreciate the opportunity that you've given me to come out and do this work, because I'm learning every day. As you know, anything I learn, I pass on to you. So you can learn as much as I know. And
I can, you're teaching me, and you're giving me that kind of feedback, because you can test it, right?
Yeah. And now we got that efflorescence microscope that I met Matt at the Acres USA. We picked it up down there. Nice. But anyways, I'll cut it here, and we'll look forward to talking soon.
Yep.
Cheers.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. Hi, it's Mike Stangl, and we're here at Taz Winery, and we're with Augusta. Can you tell us your background a bit?
Yeah, I'm the vineyard manager here at Taz. I've worked here for 14 years. I started working in vineyards when I was 13, and I farm 130 acres here on the Beansville Bench, all organically and sustainably.
But I read somewhere you were in overseas too, somewhere.
Yeah, I grew up in Prince Edward County, where I fell in love with viticulture, but I did, after school at Niagara College, I spent a year in Germany and a year in Nova Scotia.
Okay. So I also found out that this place was biodynamic and organic.
Yes.
And the reasoning you went, or the reason Taz is organic and biodynamic?
Yes. So we're not biodynamic anymore.
Sure.
We're just organic. And that comes from a passion for leaving the land better than we found it, and trying to create the best wine we can by focusing on the health of the vineyard. And that doesn't just mean our grapevines, it means the soil and our cover crop and the biodiversity and the animals all living together in the vineyard.
Last year, you communicated, or you reached out through the Soil Network, Ontario Soil Network, through Doug and Gordon. And actually, I followed up with that. And you want to go regenerative, which basically you are.
Yeah.
We got out here and we saw a lot of her toys, the crimper, everything. And can you explain why you were looking into one Ontario Soil Health Network, but more so regenerative?
Yeah, I think it's important to build a community around you that we all learn together. And the more we all try and talk to each other, the more we can create a better environment and better soil health. But you can't have sustainability or a future of agriculture if you don't have soil at the end of the day. So the more we can focus on our soil health, and I think that all ties back to regenerative and being very present and aware of what's going on, the healthier our soils and the future will be.
So we were just talking off camera before, and we were talking about we have some thistle issues. Sow thistle. I had that in my garden too, my market garden, and we put some silica on. So we're going to be following what the results come this spring and see how that worked. But more so, you got a little compaction, you got all this happening, you got excess copper going on, going regenerative. And the reason you called or wanted to get in contact with me is we're trying to bridge the information from the regenerative to you. I don't know how to grow grapes. You do. But I do understand the regenerative, the compost, the biology, and we have the microscope to actually follow the soil, which we haven't done yet. We will look at their soils come this spring. We've got a plan to move forward, and more so, I'm here to help. I'm not here to do anything more than that. We were talking about another vineyard who had 7 less passes in their rows,
Yeah.
which means a lot. But he's been doing it 6 years now, going into the 7th. And I know this has been here a lot longer.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it a lot longer. So what I would like to do is get myself involved with yourself. We have that new epifluorescence microscope now, and we can actually see real time what is going on. And at the same time, calculate what your biomass. The other is, I forgot to mention, you have animal integration.
Yes.
Can you speak about that and the biology and what you feel is really happening?
Yeah.
And other than that, tell a quick story about the cooks, what they think about your chicken.
Yeah, so animals have always been an important part of farming at TAWS, going back to our biodynamic. So I have a flock of sheep. They're just about to start lambing in mid-January. And during the summer, before there's grapes for them to eat, I like to put them through the field. I just think that as they go through the field and they're eating down the weeds and the grass, it means we don't have to cut it. But it also, they have like this natural rainforest. And as they eat and they poop, they put all this like microorganisms and manure and fertilizer back into the soil. And it just creates this nice circle. And you can see the health in the vineyard at the end of it. And I've been playing around with like you were talking about my roller crimper compared to like my mower on different blocks and seeing if it makes a difference in the health of the soil at the end of the day. So it's a lot of fun. I don't have chickens anymore just because all the animals, not only are they used on the farm, but they end up in our restaurant at Redstone. And they don't like my chickens because I walk too much and they're too stringy. So
Yeah, they taste too gamey.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate for something good. At the end of the day, what does this relationship look like with me and you getting into it? Like, what are you looking forward to of getting out of me?
Yeah, like I'm so excited to dig down into the microorganisms that are in our soil and being able to look at it with the microscope and see what's happening, because I do think there's a huge relationship between copper and some of our microorganisms problems, and then being able to learn more about what we can put on the soil and how we can do it going forward to try and increase that biology in our soil to make it healthier at the end of the day.
Well, that's perfect. So we're looking forward to getting out here in the spring, getting some soil samples, working with you, and then following you throughout the season. And then anytime they need us or anyone needs us, they can communicate with us. And at the same time, if you haven't tried their wine, please do. Got a website?
Yeah, it's tawswinery.ca.
I'll make sure it's on the bottle. Thank you. Hey, it's Mike Stangl here. We're going to be talking to two farmers, Gord and Doug. And Doug's farm is
called Donkerdale.
Donkerdale. Okay, so I was introduced to these two guys about 2-3 years ago, and it was through the Soil Ontario
Soil Network.
Soil Network. Ontario Soil Network, sorry.
There we go.
Long and short, they called or I called, and now we're here today. But what I want to do is show you how sometimes it is difficult, but how easy it is to get into a regenerative mindset. But at the same time, I'm here to bridge that gap between regenerative and these two guys to introduce them to the biology, but more so get them on their own path within that realm. And instead of me trying to tell you what it's about, let's just start going with you guys. A couple of years ago, I don't care who starts, and it's just a conversation in front of this camera. And yes, we're at Our Futures. Hey, Matt, these guys, oh yeah, you remember him? Okay, go ahead.
So I think I might start this one just because that's kind of how this got started. I ended up on the Soil Network with Michael, and our first breakout session happened to be with Michael himself and a couple other, and we just got going down the rabbit trail of what he was doing, and he went on and on. It was quite interesting, and at some point in time he was saying he was making milk lard, and as a dairy farmer, this kind of caught my interest. So first it was kind of a skeptical situation, and listening over the years a little bit, and it was a couple of years just listening and not doing, but listening. And then Doug here was interested, and Michael took the effort and the time to step out into the field and dig in the soil a little bit with us, and brought to light some of the fungal to bacterial ratios that we were seeing, and kind of led us down the road of learning more, is what I would say.
And then that's when I met this guy.
Yep.
Just after that conversation.
I remember when...
But it was months. We were, I think...
Well, it's a year or so.
Yeah, but our conversation was going until we met Doug.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
the last guy to the party here.
Yeah.
And
A lot of actually.
I remember when these guys came over though, that first day, it was an afternoon and we were chatting about the soil, and then Michael came back a few days later and he took those soil samples and he put it under the microscope, and he gave us back this long text paragraph, which was good because it was written down for us. And I remember reading it, and they talk about bacteria and fungi and protozoa, and I had no idea about any of it. Like, it was really interesting. I wanted to learn more, but I just didn't know. Anyways, time passed, about a year, and Michael was going to come out again, and I pulled that old text up and I read it again, and throughout that year, with enough interest with Michael introduced us to, all of a sudden that text made sense to me, and I was pretty thrilled before they even got here. I'm like, I didn't know what they're talking about this time. So that initial visit and you introducing us to topics we had no idea about, but interesting, got us that first step.
Yeah.
So now a couple years later, we understand pretty clearly what we're talking about. We were at a local meeting yesterday, and
You're with
other farmers.
and
like,
that gentleman you were talking about, which his name is?
Spencer's there.
Yeah.
From Nutra All Solutions. He says company's fairly new, and it's 2 years old now. He has many ideas. Really trying
Student
to
of Graham States.
working
Really?
with farmers.
Yeah, really trying to help farmers in this regenerative road to down, doing it yourself, like the on farm what you can.
So now we have, like yesterday, there was other local farmers, and the same thing. They're in the position that we were a couple years ago. So it's all over their head. Too much info, but
Too much Latin, too much Greek, and it's just not catching on.
But it's kind of neat because a couple of the guys, it was the second time they showed up. So it's not like they listened and went home and didn't come back. No, they came back again for more info. So they're, but it's the same thing. It's the share of knowledge.
The interesting thing was we heard it. I didn't really believe it. I'll be honest. I didn't really believe it when we talked about endophytes into the plants, so into the seeds and then into the plant and so forth. And first of all, I hardly remember the term endophyte and what that even was. But then hearing it, and it was a long time in between, I know that, but then hearing it again and it coming up again, and it's making more sense as you learn the rhizophagy cycle and so on and so forth. All these things. Oh, Michael talked about that, and it helped. Just laid some groundwork, and I'm very grateful for Michael's patience, because I know, and I've told him often that I'm asking this question again. I know for I don't know how many time.
Yeah.
But that has helped now with talking to other, be it suppliers or people in this space, to carry it on farther, that you had some of that groundwork. You're not learning it for the first time. You're not sitting there with deer in the headlights. Now you can gain, you have a spot farther down the road that you can go a little bit farther yet on from the conversation.
And what was fascinating is that you guys built your own Johnson suits a couple of years ago, and you started utilizing it last year.
Right.
That's a 2025 season. And you've now got more Johnson suits.
Yeah.
And these guys are cash croppers and dairy. That's why we're here at Doug's place, because you don't have one of these yet.
No, I'm not planning on doing a part.
He's going right to robots.
Straight to robots.
And then this is what's so gratifying is that I don't know their industry, but I'm here learning with them, and I'm bridging that gap from the biology, the soil health to them. And what did you see other than the Johnson Sioux? You can talk about that, but the healthier cow from your own fields to here.
Well, the more mineralization you get in your plant, the better your cow is going to do, because it's always better to mineralize through your plants. And the way to do it is biology. But like Michael has helped us gain the confidence to go, both Gord and I have stepped off treated seeds like insecticide, fungicide, like we're back to bare seeds that we treat with biology now, and confidently doing it and promoting it and helping others confidently do it now, which is a big step forward.
Yeah.
And so between that and doing just understanding soil practices better, even like manure pit treatments with the milk lab, with effective biology. And it's kind of neat whenever the neighbor, we were spreading manure last summer, and the neighbor said to my wife, she said, "Oh, like I feel like the manure didn't smell as much this year," which I mean, it's a check mark in the box saying, hey, maybe our treatment's working. And it wasn't like I was promoting it or didn't say nothing about it. It was just she by herself noticed a change. So It just helps quantify things do happen, and you can make improvements, and it is real.
Yeah, especially with the milk. Sometimes there is an excess amount of milk, and you guys never knew what to do with it. And I always said, why don't we make lab serum out of your milk instead of, and utilizing it as a fertilizer, or what you've done here with your manure pits. Other than that, like you went and created a Johnson Sioux room.
Yep.
But as well, I was going to mention,
Which is a community event, because now I take care of Doug's, mine, and another the local fellas all in my place. I'm the caretaker of the Johnson Sioux, but Johnson Sioux has been a cool one too, because it's become a community event here. We've got the knowledge the first 2 years from Michael how we should do it, and then from there we kind of took it over ourselves how we want to do it.
I think we have 12 in there right now, is it? 10, 12?
10 Johnson Sioux bioreactors.
I bet we'll have 30 by next year.
Oh, probably. We have another farmer who's now very keen on, I have a feeling next year it's going to be
We're going to need more next year.
And he's going to try, he's actually adapting a planter to be able to put this in. We were having that conversation actually this morning. And then what I was getting at, it's become a community event making Johnson Sioux. So it doesn't feel like work when you're sitting shoveling it in and whatnot, because we use Doug's tractor and chopper to grind it all up and mix it, and then it's stored at my place, and the leaves have all been sitting in my dump trailer ahead of time. And
it's a good effort though.
Yeah,
it's just things you can do yourself. Like some of the stuff that improves you don't have to buy. You can do it yourself.
Talking about buy, you still don't just use the Johnson Sioux. You use BAM from AEA.
No, that's from Exel.
Exel. Okay, sorry, my bad. And any other biology?
On a biology front, a little bit of a product called Fighter, which is a beneficial fungus that we use as a seed treatment. Side of that, I can't think of anything on the biology side.
Yeah, so it's just a Johnson Sioux.
Like
but even our mineral nutrition approach has changed. It's not so much NPK no more, is what we've always been led to believe is the best route. Now we're on to different things like watch calcium, try to build calcium levels, or silica, or smaller micronutrients, molybdenum, which we never talked about before. So all these things now we're learning about. And as we shifted away from the traditional route, we're starting learning curves. The quicker you try to change, maybe the harder the curve. But last year, felt like we had some pretty good successes. So I think this year we'll build on that again. So
that's perfect. And then at the same time, did you see a yield decrease or equal?
The first year I seen a decrease because I just went all the way, because I'm mostly an in or out person. And I went all the way and with no knowledge. That was the problem. But the benefit is that I then went to learn more. Like it went and gained knowledge because that was the only option, because I wasn't going to go back to what I used to do. I was interested in something better. And so I personally then just tried to do a lot more learning. Came back to the table this year, tried again. And this year I was widely happy. This year was comparable, very comparable. Maybe still a little bit less yield, but less inputs. I would say the ROI was similar to what I had previous when I was full conventional. So I
would say my ROI is higher. I was literally just figuring it out yesterday because we need to for these guys. And I was sorting it out, even with quite a bit of reduced yield, because I didn't do something right on a field, which is still to be figured out why. I still made money on 100 bushel corn somehow.
Okay.
That was my worst field. The majority was, I would say, more average yield, but what I'm seeing is a big difference in the barn. So the cows are doing by far better eating the feed that we have produced with, I would say, the regenerative practices is a big part of that. So I'm going to say I have greater diversity of nutrition going into the plant, which is making a more balanced feed source for the cattle.
It's a multi-year approach. The benefit to what Gordon and I do is that we keep our feed stuff, and then we process a second time. Like we just don't produce the raw commodity, then we transform the raw commodity to meat and milk. So there's good advantage for us to try to get a healthier plant, because then we get secondary effects of healthier animals. That's.
And we feed a large portion of the plant, right? Because a lot of times we're taking the entire plant and chopping it up and feeding it.
I think that's great. Did you want to say anything else before we get?
Well, I would like to thank Michael.
It's okay.
He helped us a lot. Like, if it wasn't for Michael getting us started and sharing the knowledge, like all the knowledge came to us for free from Michael. We do the same thing now. We pass it on to other farmers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm amazed how the sharing is it's kind of contagious in a way. It is. Yeah, it's just good info in, and you pass it on, and people like what you do, and you definitely notice people watch what we do about how to do, and more people are coming around. More and more people start asking questions. They're hesitant to start, but it's like the wave is changing. Like, they definitely watch more questions. Like I said, the same farmers are coming back the second, the third time now, and the group grows bigger. Quicker.
There was something exciting you said before we got on about the guy yesterday going back about his coated seed.
Oh yeah, he after he left the meeting yesterday, he went back and called his seed dealer and asked if he could get non-treated seed, and it was possible. And he was so excited, he was calling right away to talk about it.
And he's going to be looking for Johnson Sioux most likely.
And he's not doing it totally blindfolded, because he's getting confidence.
Yeah,
from
and you
experience.
guys are here.
Yeah, because we now have, like, from Michael, gained confidence, and now we gained confidence in experience.
The disciples have become preachers.
The biggest thing I have to out of this is, we're dairy farmers, you're a lawn care guy, but we were able to make a connection through
soil
in
health.
this case, it was a soil network that bind us together with soil health, and you were willing to step outside of lawn care, and I was grateful for the help, and I had to have the open mind enough to see someone in lawn care could have an effect in our situation, but just the community that has built and friendship that has formed, and how much I have learned from yourself in the patience you had to teach that to us. Like the first year I was kind of a little crazy here, and then we came back and you told us again the story, and that patience, I think, is a big part of why we are where we are today. And we're helping the next guy down the road, and I've learned to be patient there too. Like, a lot of times I remember your patience and then put that into practice.
My son's behind the camera. He's laughing at my patience thing right now. Sometimes I don't have patience. Get me behind a wheel in traffic, I don't have patience. But when we're talking soil, I have a lot of patience.
I don't have a lot of patience for a lot of things either, but soil is one of those things.
Yeah, you got to have patience. And that's why we're all here. And then our community, like you guys create it now for yourselves, everybody can come to the water cooler with a part of the conversation, and it's going to get filled.
And you start building quicker as more people come with more pieces, because the pieces start fitting better, and you can start building faster.
Oh, yeah.
I say collaboration trumps individualism any day.
Oh, yeah. And on that note, we're going to say, see you later.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Hello, everyone. It's Mike Stangl here at Bayview Greenhouses. And in the background, we have a bioreactor. And this is John from Bayview. And we're going to explain, or we're going to talk about how he got involved, or Bayview got involved with these digesters. And I'm just going to let you take off.
All right. Well, like it was all before my time. I kind of came into it 10 years after Bayview had built this, and a gentleman, my predecessor, had retired. So then I came in after that, and at the time it wasn't easy, And then as pressures came for guys to divert organics from landfills to other facilities, other avenues, more economical, more environmentally friendly avenues to go with it, things started to take off for us. We started to receive a little more money for tipping fees for guys, instead of going to the landfill, coming to us, where we take it, we treat it, and we make we clean it up, per se, and make in the end we make a good fertilizer at the end of the day through the process of anaerobic digestion. So and it's continually evolving all the time. Technologies are getting better, the equipment's getting better, so it's not without its challenges. It's a very complex, a lot of moving parts to the system, but it's been quite a journey to get here thus far, and yeah, now it's kind of, it's starting to become fun making biogas out of someone's garbage.
Yeah.
And
Well, what I noticed here, I'm just going to cut it.
Yeah.
What I noticed was when I first came here a few years back, there was only one digester.
no, there's always been two.
There's always been two? Okay.
Yeah.
And then there was a big pile of stuff over here that I've never seen before. And these are the 2 units now, and you'll be able to see. And explain what the 2 units are doing for you. Like the stuff comes from this big pile, and it goes over to theirs. I don't know.
Yeah,
Tell
like basically, we have 2 digesters. We have a primary and a secondary. So the first one over here is our primary.
Yeah.
We have two avenues to feed the primary digester. We have one it's called a dry feeder, where we take in all our solid material and we dump it into the dry feeder, and it on a time schedule feeds the digester 24/7, 365. And then we also have a liquid tank storage. So we have 2 liquid receiving tanks. One is our manure tank, where we receive all our liquid dairy manure, because under our regulation as a farm operated digester, we are regulated under nutrient management to feed 25% of our off-farm material needs to be liquid dairy manure. So that's part of the regulation for that. And then so we feed liquid dairy manure, and as well as any kind of liquid grease trap waste. And that's what the 2 other tanks are for. So those are our sources of feed, and that's how it gets fed. So it goes into the primary, everything gets into the primary, and then the primary digests it. Then we run that tank very heavy on the solid end, due to the nature of the feedstock of the solid material. So then what we do to eliminate some troubles is we separate it, and then we separate out the solid, and then the liquid goes back into the secondary tank to continue to digest the material before we haul it out.
There's a lot there. Now, the one thing when I came into this picture a couple of years ago, we were talking with Christine, and we were looking at different avenues. And I think, John, you mentioned a couple of times to me before, you guys have a granular plus a liquid.
Yep.
And you were using it in fertilizers, but not only that, you were using it in orchards, vineyards, as a soil amendment, more so a fertilizer. And we were looking at biology. We did look at it a couple of years ago underneath the microscope. It was full of life. And most recently, we had gotten a DNA test. We just got the result back. We did a Haney, a PLFA, which you're going to be talking with Lance down the road about that. But more so, we're looking to look at the DNA. And then your product has actually got a website too. I didn't know until Clarence mentioned it to me. And what's it called?
Get Growing.
Get Growing. And it's going to be an actual fertilizer that you use on turf, that you use in the orchard, use in the vineyard, anywhere.
That's right.
So it comes liquid and granular, and obviously, is it produced all here too, or?
Yeah, like we have two forms of the fertilizer, as you said. One is the liquid, and one is the solid. We have had great results with both of them. So
and it's great for the environment, safe for everyone to handle.
Yep.
For pets safe, children safe, environment. It activates. It's got high carbon. It's got all these things, and we're going to find out more, and we're going to probably do another video down the road so you guys can actually see or understand what kind of biology was in it from that DNA test. Is there anything else you wanted to say about the product or the process? Because it does seem very difficult. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, no, it's we're trying to get more traction on this, get more people aware of the products, and just try to keep everything environmentally sustainable, and keep things taking what we take out and put it back in, and here's a great story here. And
now I was just thinking, I was at dairy yesterday, a dairy farm, and they have a manure pit. Are you just taking it on from anyone, or they have to call you? Like, how does that work?
So there's multiple streams of dairy manure, and the processes and the way that some of these farmers do it. You know, we like dairy manure that where the cows are straw bedded,
Yeah.
where everything's organic, everything's breakdown. You know, there's many ways of doing it. Some guys actually have digesters and they use the digestate to bed on.
Yeah.
So, and then other guys are sand bedded. Sand bed is very difficult on equipment. So generally we like the straw bedded.
Sure.
That, you know, the straw, we get it when you pump it, the straw comes in and then it all breaks down and it adds to the
end
mix.
result. Yeah.
The end result.
Now, if you want more information, again, down below here, you'll see their website. You can communicate with them. And I'm hoping that you guys will look at, what was the product name again?
Get growing.
Get Growing. Thank you, John.
Yep, you're welcome. Thank you.
Cheers. In your back. So let's talk about my lawn care business. Started in 81. This is my 45th season, going from a conventional system, getting a toxicity from that system, headaches, dilated pupils, dizziness. That was in 85, 84. I started wearing a respirator, and even after that, I was still getting these headaches and such. In the 90s, we went to a hybrid system. The hybrid was organic and conventional. But with respect to that, it wasn't doing or providing the outcome, and I was trying to grow a business and, well, live. And so I was still stuck in that conventional treadmill until 2009, when Ontario banned the cosmetic use of pesticides on home lawns and on our sports fields. And so I started maintaining everything more in organic mode. I did step into that arena, which they have up here for organic herbicide, which still has to be posted, which kills a biological plant. So if it's doing or killing a biological plant, what would it do to the applicator and to the wildlife and into the nature itself? 2013, I went and saw Deepak Chopra, and he used an acronym for EGO as edging God out. So EGO to me means edging green out. And 2014, I was with Graham Sate, NTS, took the 5-day intensive course. Then with Elaine Ingham, took her course plus her microscopy. And in 2015, we've been taking soil samples of all of our lawns and sport fields and looking at them in April and looking at them again in October, doing a biomass ratio and following the outcomes based on what we were seeing. I was changing the Nature's Brew year after year, or even seasonal within the season, depending upon the weather and what I was seeing or what was happening in the field. Right now, we use Johnson Sioux since 2018 as an extract. We started off with teas, followed all of the results on that, and we found that extracts were the best. We went 100% extracts. The thing is that it was quicker, it was easier, and at the same time, we were getting the results we were looking for a lot faster. So this year, compared to last year, we're doing the same. We have the extract from the Johnson Sioux. We have kelp. We have molasses. We also have squid juice and a nitrogen source from Green Lightning. It's a plasma source, which is salt-free. Last year in 2025, we had zero, and I should say zero. I didn't see any red thread, no rust. We haven't had disease for years on our lawns. We had some insects at time. The only insect that we've had in the last few years is some grubs. And that's dependent upon what landscaping or the lawn cutters, I call them lawn hackers, are out there cutting too short, or zero-turn mowers in difficult areas. That's where we're getting the little compaction. As much as grubs love a softer, pliable ground, we do get a lot of moisture spring and fall that they can work through. And we find that we do have a grub issue, but not infestation on my lawns. We have more of a predatorial problem, such as the raccoon, possum, and skunk, finding them and then just digging up. The way I keep them away is using a fox or coyote urine, spraying the area. I normally use a Q-tip by dipping it in and keeping that Q-tip to the atmosphere, and that aroma is keeping them away. Again, for this year, looking forward to greater results. We're going to be putting a gallon per acre of the squid juice, but keeping the Green Lightning at a pound of N per 1,000 square feet. We are available for consultations. We are available to answer questions. Cappy is here, our angel in the office. Austin and myself, we're always on the road, boots on the ground. And if you do have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And if you want a consultation, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help. And I learn more from talking to you than you think. So the more questions you give me, the more answers I get for myself. And I appreciate you as much as you appreciate me. And for 2026, I wish you continued health and adventure. Cheers. I'm Mike Stangl.